So how would you like to have the same swing shape as every PGA Tour golfer in the world? I know what a lot of you are thinking right now. That's not even possible. There's a lot of guys that swing flat and around their body. There's other guys that swing more upright. There's all kinds of variations in swing shapes on the PGA Tour. And that is true, but there is one swing shape that'll be common for every professional golfer, and that's wide, narrow, wide. Now what I mean by this is in the takeaway and backswing, you're gonna make a nice wide swing arc. Then you're gonna narrow that swing arc in the downswing by creating lag, and then wide in the release as you get rid of lag and create some clubhead speed. It's the only way to create tour caliber clubhead speeds and still be very consistent. So if you wanna learn the wide, narrow, wide swing shape, I'm gonna show it to you in 3 simple steps. All right, so first let's talk about whether or not you're already doing this move correctly. Now the opposite of wide, narrow, wide, the PGA Tour swing shape would be narrow, wide, narrow. And that's going to be the high handicapper swing shape. When you're doing this, instead of having that nice wide swing arc going back, you're bending the right arm early and you're picking the club up with your right wrist. This is creating a very steep angle on the way back, a very narrow arc. Now from here, the tendency is going to be to cast. Now the reason for this is I'm picking up this right arm and I get this right arm really, really loaded and by my side here. It's narrow. It feels like I want to throw with this right arm from right off the top, right off the bat. So I'm going to cast as I come down, and that's great if I want a lot of clubhead speed back here, but if I want a lot of clubhead speed at the ball, I need to keep that angle. So if you go narrow, your tendency is going to be to throw from the top, cast the club, and then as you're coming through, you're going to go narrow again and get that chicken wing position. So you're going narrow, wide, and then narrow in the follow through, which kills clubhead speed at the most crucial part, and that's impact. So let's go over these 3 steps in order so that you can perfect them in your own swing. Okay, so move number 1 is wide, and that's basically just going to be a takeaway for this drill. We're going to start out with about a half swing. It's called a 9 to 3 drill, so it means we're going to 9 o'clock with our left arm on the way back. We're going to 3 o'clock on the way through. And the reason we're going to do this is it's going to allow you to go slower, to be able to see all your positions, and then once you can perfect this half swing, it's going to be really easy to take it a little farther back and swing a little farther through and incorporate this into a full swing. So let's start out with a 9 to 3 drill. So step 1, as I mentioned, is wide. We already know why this is a good thing. The wider I go on the way back, as a rule of thumb, the more lag I can create on the downswing. So if I'm going narrow, I'm going to cast. If I go wide, I'm going to create lag. So the first key to this is to keep the right arm straight. If we keep this right arm straight all the way to the end of the takeaway, or when the club's parallel to the ground here, I'm going to have to create a very wide arc. So you can see that now I'm forced to turn my shoulders, which is a good thing. I'm forced to do a lot of other things that are great we're not going to talk about yet here in this video. We're not going to talk about, but I'm making a very wide arc because my right arm is staying straight. Now the second piece to this is I want to make sure that I get a little bit of weight shift. Now we don't want to create a wide swing arc by shifting our entire body. So this would be overdoing it. This would be too wide. You know, there is a point where you can go too wide in the backswing. So we want to make sure that our weight only goes to the inside of my right foot. So if I go to the inside of my right foot, you can see that I'm remaining centered as I'm rotating. So my spine isn't moving all over the place as I'm going back and through. That would be the weight on the inside of my foot. So those are the 2 checkpoints I want you to do for step number 1. Straight right arm, weight to the inside. If you're shifting to the right with your body, you're going too far. So let's go ahead and go over step 2 now. All right, so now we're ready for step 2, and that's going to be getting narrow or creating lag in the downswing. So to start step 2, let me go back to the end of step 1. I've shifted the weight to the inside of my right foot. My right arm is dead straight. To start move 2, I'm first going to shift my weight to the left. So this is just going to be lateral for this drill. You're going to get a little bit of rotation in the hips, so don't really worry about too much of that. You're just thinking about shifting the weight from the inside of your right foot to the center, or the center of your ankle on your left foot. So it's going to start out by looking like this, and you'll also notice as I'm doing this, I'm starting to let this club hinge a little bit. So here's step 1. We're going to check this position, go in slow motion, make sure you're in the right spot. Then you're going to start move 2 by shifting the weight to the left and beginning to let these wrists hinge, or to wrist to cock, just like in the down cock drill we talk about on the site. So we're just going to look like this in step 1. We're going to go to step 2, and that's the first piece. We're going to shift our weight. The second piece I want you to check is when your left hand is in front of your right thigh, you want to make sure that this club is at least parallel to the ground. That's a good checkpoint for you. Now you don't want to do this by cupping this left wrist. That's too much. We're trying to get too much lag here. Go ahead and keep this left wrist nice and flat, and make sure that as that left wrist is in front of your right thigh, that the club is at least parallel to the ground. Now the last piece on this, and something that I see people exaggerate, and I've even seen instructors online tell people to do this, and it makes me cringe a little bit, is that you don't want to make this right elbow jam into your side. So I'm not trying to create lag by doing this, and my upper body's all tilted back, and my right elbow's jammed into my side here. I don't want to do that, because now I'm going to be really stuck and have to flip at the bottom. I want to be a little more stacked and feel like I'm keeping this right elbow some space between my right elbow and my right side. That'll keep me from getting jammed up. It'll give me plenty of room to release this club as I'm coming down and through. So those 3 checkpoints for step 2 again. Number 1, I want to make sure that I started out by shifting my weight to the left. Number 2, as my left wrist gets in front of my right thigh, my club is going to be parallel to the ground, or a little bit better. That's be fine. And piece 3, I want to make sure that I got a little bit of space between my right side and my right elbow. So I'm creating most of this lag and most of this narrowing with my wrist in the downswing. All right, so now it's time for step 3, and that's the release. This is where you get the club head speed. This is where the rubber meets the road, so to speak, and this is going to be the big payoff. The lag portion itself will not get you any club head speed. It's the release of lag that will get you club head speed. So we've done step 1, we've done step 2, now we need to do step 3, and that's go wide as we release this club. Now one thing you'll notice is that as I release this club, so if you guys are watching this on YouTube, you want to see the 3rd step, you're going to need to click this box right here. It's going to take you, you can sign up for a free membership. You're going to get 2.5 hours of instruction, plus you're going to be able to watch this video, which is normally only available to premium members, absolutely for free. So I look forward to seeing you guys a lot more on the site. Now it's time to take action. Don't let another year pass and still be frustrated with your golf game. This is your year to beat all of your friends. Go to the description below and click the link to sign up for your free membership. It will never cost you a dime, and you'll receive over 2.5 hours of detailed, eye-opening video lessons. Plus, you will be able to see the remainder of this video, only available if you click the link on this particular video. Be the first of your friends to join our 40,000 plus free members. We look forward to having you on our team.